Welcome everyone to the Watchlist, your virtual weekly TV guide right here on the Latin Nerds Network. Ready to give you our best recommendations of all the shows, documentaries, films that got released on streaming over the past week. And of course, at the end of the show, let you know what's coming out so you too can create your very own watch list. If you guys been with us before, you know how this goes. If you're new to the show, welcome. Forget to subscribe, support us, and never ask yourself what's on TV because we're the ones that tell you what's on TV. So that should never be a question you pose yourself. But I'm not alone here. My co-host Chewy, Senor Jaime, will be joining us for the ride, giving us his recommendations as well, or non-recommendations as the case is. Chewy, what it is, what it was, what it shall be.
Happy Sunday, brother.
Happy Sunday. A couple of days from Halloween.
Boo.
Boo.
I don't care for Halloween, dude.
You are the worst. I swear to God. So former host Chewy will bid his farewells here today. As now it's funny because we're still gonna talk about this announcement, but I was gonna do we have joke around little in memoriam. But I figured it'd probably be in poor taste, given the fact we're the smoke hasn't cleared yet on the sad passing of Matthew Perry.
Way too soon.
Way
Dude.
too
Come on.
soon. Matthew Perry passed away surprisingly last night, 54 years young. Of course, this is a show about television, right? He was a huge star. Friends was, along with Seinfeld, the sitcom of the 90s. They had the battles back and forth in regards to ratings. And Friends is still probably one of the most popular shows now, currently. Still gets watched a lot. It's been in syndication for 20 some years or some of that. There's actually like a Friends, Stranger Things had this, but Friends is now having like the little tour thing. They go from mall to mall and they set up. You can go like an experience, a Friends experience. I saw the advertisement here, one of the malls here in South Florida.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's a big name, dude. A lot of people he has a huge fan base. Like Friends, I used to watch it a lot. I saw it twice because my girlfriend, hadn't seen it. So, funny show to watch. The first few seasons were funny, but still good. Joe, you a fan of Friends? Out of curiosity.
Yeah, I mean, I was. I'm not as big a fan as a lot of people are. I mean, like I said, I'd probably prefer probably Office or Scrubs.
True.
Right? That was a
True.
classic comedy that actually just dropped on Peacock. So I'm going to go rewatch the whole 8, 9, 10 seasons, whatever long. That was a classic comedy. But it was still good. I mean, obviously, you look back at the times, and the only thing it was, let's be honest, it was a very whitewashed comedy.
Oh no, listen, it's the
I mean,
'90s, right? It's a
who lives in New York, the biggest, most diverse city in the world, and everyone around you is just as white as Wonder Bread? I'm just saying, dude.
there's no argument there.
I mean, at least Seinfeld had the Pakistani restaurant guy, had other characters
That was a little
of color.
stereotypical too. Let's be honest,
Well,
but
okay,
I get
okay,
it.
but okay.
I get it.
At least they were there, right?
No,
But
no, fair
here,
enough.
like, I think that where's the Latinos in this show?
Well, they did
What's
have
up?
Seinfeld. They had the lawyer.
Yeah, that's
I
right,
can't
that's
forget his
right.
name, but whatever. If you Seinfeld fans, you know what I'm talking about. Egregious. But no, but yeah. But listen, it was a huge. What everything of the show is no doubt it had a huge cultural impact, and it still
But
does,
yes,
right? A
yes,
lot of the
yes.
sayings, and your son's a fan as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, I think
Um,
my favorite episode was the trivia episode where they were fighting for the apartment. That's
yes,
an
that was
all-time
yeah,
classic.
that's right, with Chandler and Joey against Monica and Rachel.
Monica and
Yeah.
Rachel for the nice apartment. Yeah, that's a
Yeah, so
classic one.
that, but yeah, so listen, I know it's a huge fan base. I'm sure you guys are saddened by it. It gets 54. But it's surprising. It's shocking. I know he had his
Yeah.
issues, his demons. Anthony Perry did, but they haven't released. I, mean, I guess he drowned purportedly, but
I mean, it was jacuzzi drowning of some kind. Well, now what led to him drowning, whether it was heart attack related or something else, uh, still unsure. But regardless, I mean, he's not with us anymore. So rest
exactly.
in
Like I
peace.
said, he was a big cultural TV icon. Let's call it what it is. So it is sad to see
Mhm.
that happen. But listen, the show must go on. So let's go on to a couple of announcements, which I was gonna talk about jokingly earlier, but just to mention it real quick, Peacock, not Peacock, I'm sorry, Paramount Plus
Paramount Plus.
gave us dropping two axes, not just one, but two axes on shows. One was Fatal Attraction, which who cares,
I didn't care.
right?
Yeah,
But made us fans of the show. But the second was Rabbit Hole.
that's surprising.
Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland show, a show we both enjoyed. I really liked it. It's just very complex. Thought it was entertaining, and I liked the
Hmm.
story. And this they actually set up a season two. But yeah, I clearly not everybody agreed,
Not
or
enough.
nobody cared,
Yeah.
or nobody watched that. Whatever. So I don't know what the ratings were for the show. Clearly not enough to let it continue on. I'm sure it's not it's a pricey show given the name power in there. But yeah,
Mm.
so those two are gone. I guess I'm sad for Rabbit Hole because that was a cool show. I was looking forward to
Yeah.
season two. I was very
See, if
yeah,
Tyler Sheridan was attached to that, it would have got a season two.
probably no doubt about it. And as good as it was, it may have even been better. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so that's it is what it is. So Paramount Plus losing a couple shows there. But
Mhm.
let's talk about the shows that are still continuing, right? Just released, and we'll start with some documentaries. The first one here on Apple Plus, the Enfield Poltergeist. Of course, here it's Halloween, so these kind of things will start dropping. And this one here, obviously, it's a docu series, documenting, discussing that the famous one of the famous most well documented poltergeist sightings or whatever experiences, which was the subject matter of The Conjuring 2. We had one with The Conjuring 3 a couple weeks ago on Netflix. So
Mhm.
they ran into the gambit of The Conjuring. This one here really kind of told through the lens of the actual recordings, right, of the guy who
Very,
investigated
very
it.
unique. I mean, there
Yeah,
was,
interesting. Yeah, interesting. It was all recordings, and that's all they played, and they
yeah,
had actors kind of mimic and lip sync to the
yeah,
audio, reenacting some of the
with
scenes.
with some supplementary interviews of people who are still alive
Right,
and
right,
talking to
exactly,
them.
exactly. But it was mainly that. So, going on
Mhm.
what happened with the young family, in particular girl and a possession or whatever, entity in the house, and et cetera, right? Yeah, I love this kind of stuff. That the Netflix just how when the devil maybe do it, right? Which I enjoyed.
Yes,
I enjoyed. I
yes,
said, like,
that was
right.
a 2 hour movie or
Well,
less,
yeah, an
hour and
hour
a half.
and one, whatever it was. This
Mhm.
one's a four-part series.
Which was anything but about the court case, but whatever.
Right, right, but whatever. I still kind of enjoyed it because I like the subject matter as I do here. But the problem, I don't know, this one here, I did not get into. I didn't like the whole lip syncing thing. It was a little off for me, um, and it was a little dull, especially for this. It was dull, and I saw one, and then I decided I'm out on that one. I
Mhm.
just I don't know. I just could not get into it. Just it was not engaging. Just didn't have that. You think of Halloween, you want the vibe, right? You really want to get that the ratchet up that tension with the especially some of the scenes, and doing it the way they did, I thought took away from it. So I wasn't a fan, man. Not a fan of this. New Jack Plus. I'm a big fan of most of the stuff that gets released. Not this one. Chew your thoughts.
No, I mean it's a unique telling of the story because they actually have all the audio,
Yeah, I'll give you
right?
that.
Because
Yeah.
the guy spent had like over 200 hours of recordings and stuff they did over a 1 to 2 year period
Mhm.
with this at this location with this family. So it's unique, but I don't know. I mean, it's very dry. I
Thank
think
you.
that's what it is. It's not
Yes.
a dramatization. It's an actual literally a retelling with the not the dramatization, but the actors kind of playing those parts and lip syncing literally to what they said. So everything is about 100% accurate as you can possibly get.
Sure.
It doesn't make very good TV. Is part of the
That's the
problem
problem.
because
Yeah, exactly. Listen to audio. Is this
yeah,
you want some audio in there, right? No doubt. But put audio of the particular instances that can really kind of get you, the skin crawl, if you will, right?
hmm
Particularly, so
because I
not.
mean I'm sure living through it or being a witness to it, obviously there's a lot of tension, but if you don't can't recreate that tension in this format, it just
With
didn't.
just recordings. It just doesn't work.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Go see The Conjuring 2. There you go. And you can't call it a day because this is 4 episodes. I just didn't like it, so it's a pass, I guess. Obviously from both
Mm-hmm.
sides. This next one is Life on Our Planet, of
Mm-hmm.
course on Netflix. This one here, kind of voiced by Morgan Freeman, the great Morgan Freeman, who kudos to Freeman though. He's really turned his life around when he got released from Shawshank, and all of a sudden now he's Batman. He's making all these voiceovers. Good for him. I love me some Morgan Freeman. But yeah, he's narrating this one here. It's kind of the telling of life and evolution on the planet dating back from billions of
Mm-hmm.
years, and chronicling throughout and the history, the development of evolution of animals and plant life and yada yada yada. But you're very standard kind of stuff. We see Netflix do this a lot. But that being said, I like this kind of stuff. This
Mm-hmm.
is a good background kind of stuff to put on. Get educated, interesting stuff. It looks great. It's very well produced, and Morgan Freeman's
Mm-hmm.
voice is kind of soothes you as you scroll through the phone. There's a couple of things, but it is what it is. If you like this nature kind of thing, this is up your alley. Chewy.
Nope. Agree 100%. I think this kind of takes the approach of kind of giving us literally the history of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the driving factors and the competition between different species and who, which species rose and why, as related to the various extinction events or eras throughout the history of the world, right? Essentially, the history of Earth. And so that's a very unique take, and it kind of gives you an overall picture, and then it goes chronologically, and who rose up and why. And I actually learned some things as I watched a couple episodes that I wasn't even aware of.
Hmm. Yeah.
That I was misinformed as far as where mammals rose and whatnot. But very interesting, well produced. Keeps you engaged, and it's a good watch.
It's a good one. I say it looks. It's always great produced. You got nice TV. It looks really
Mhm.
nice. His nature shows usually excel when it comes to that. So absolutely take advantage of that. This next one, another documentary. A lot of documentaries this week. This one here, Get Gotti, is of course, I think it's a 3-part series
3 part, yeah.
on Netflix, kind of chronicling the pursuit of one John Gotti, who was the most famous gangster, probably ever had.
Teflon Don.
Teflon Don, because this guy had a knack for evading, a prosecution. I think several cases that he was tried for, he got released until he was finally convicted down the road. But it kind of talks to some of the gangsters that were in that particular, the Gambini family, I think is what he was from.
Yes, yes.
The investigators, of
Gambino.
course, yeah, Gambino investigators from or the various, whether it be like
The task force, the
the task
FBI,
force,
the
FBI, and all.
DOJ, yeah.
Exactly, and then the coordination that they had finally were forced to kind of, you know, proceed to finally bring this man down. It took a while, but this guy was he was a star. He was a rock star. That's what he was. I'm sure people have heard of Gotti, and if you don't know who he is, I'm sure you heard the name. This is back in the 80s when he rose to power. He actually was accused of, it was insinuated, or I guess he did anyway, prosecuted for killing the mob boss at the time so he can take over the family. That's where everything kind of started.
Yeah, it was a 74,
Yeah,
77, one of
around
those.
they were pursuing Gotti because of that. I think they had a case against that prior Don, and they ruined this case and whatever, and eliminated him, and in only ways that the gangsters do. And this is very like you see things like Goodfellas or what Donnie Brasco. This is exactly where he's drawing from, right? The style, of how gangsters were, what they did, and how they acted. And Gotti was bigger than life. He was bigger than life, and I found this incredibly interesting, really well done. Just how they, talking to people who are actually in the mob, and you get to see some of the voice tapes that they use, the recordings in the FBI. Great, compelling from beginning to end. I was eating this one up. Two of your thoughts?
No, I thought it was good. I don't think it was great, but it was entertaining. And looking at the investigation behind finally bringing them down, right, and the various bites at the apple that the government and the various agencies tried. Um, Obviously, I just have an issue when they, yeah, they finally got him, but I mean, and it's kind of funny how people perceive him as he being, they had a couple actors who were like enthralled with Gotti. God, the guy's a killer, man. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
Jesus Christ,
but that's what makes it
he is.
interesting, right? I
This
mean,
is not a good. This guy is a mobster. He's a killer. He's okay. What was the rule? They didn't deal drugs. Big FN deal, right? He did everything else but, right? And if he got in
agreed.
his way, you got whacked. I mean, Sammy the Bull Gravano was probably
Mhm.
one of the most famous hitmen
Right, right.
in mob history, right? And he finally turned on him because he saw the right on the wall, right? And I think he's still alive, but I'm thinking, well, did he pass away
I'm
also? I
not
can't
sure.
remember.
I know Gotti passed away.
Yeah,
He was in
Gary
jail
passed away.
2002.
Yeah, I think Gravano's still alive or
It's
out of jail.
possible.
I'm not sure.
Possible.
Yeah, I might have seen an older interviews years ago, but that's not a good guy, man. And
No,
so
but
when they make him as a rock star, even at that time, I was like, come on, people,
it's
man,
it's
Jesus
amazing
Christ.
what the media spins, and this guy became so popular. You're right. The stars are like, oh, they want to. Well, I forgot what one particular star they interviewed. God, I forgot who it was.
It was Amos. Was it John Amos? He was
Oh,
lead
that's
actor on Good
right. John
Times.
Amos, the Good Times. Yeah, I mean, it's just,
Yes, but there was that Bowie
but the
pictures
media
of
too.
Bowie there. I mean, Jesus Christ,
The,
Bowie in the '80s, man. I mean, that
yeah,
that was it, dude.
yes,
Come
it's
on.
funny how the media chased him around and made him bigger than life. And
Yeah,
I get he wasn't convicted, but we already knew who he was. Let's be
yes,
honest, right? You just can't prove it fair enough, right? Not we. That's what he knows what you can prove in court, but in public opinion, you know what's up. You know this guy was a gang. Hello, so it's surprising how big. I mean, he's covering magazines, and I mean, come on, people were
The Time
chasing.
Magazine.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Time
mean,
Magazine.
Jesus,
He was
man.
being chased down by the media picture. I mean, this guy was a rock star. So it's a fascinating character. It is what it is. It makes for good TV. So I get it. So, but it's interesting, chronicling that. So that's a pretty good watch on Netflix.
Mm,
Again, 3 episodes on that one. Next one, we got again stick to Netflix. A film coming out, Pain Hustlers, starring
mhm.
Chris Evans and Emily Blunt. Both I like them a lot. Emily Blunt's a great actress and all that. So this one here is kind of a take on. This is not a true story. I don't think. Maybe it's based on
No, it's
events that
based on a
happened.
true story. Yes, it is.
Okay, fair enough.
It is.
This one
I mean,
here.
well, yeah. It's based on a book that was based on actually happened I've been about 5, 10 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So it's fairly recent.
Okay, fair
So
enough.
this is post Purdue Pharma, right? But
Right, the
still the
post
same brand.
opioid epidemic or whatever, and I
Yeah.
guess they're Chris Evans is leads the sales team, whatever, of this up and coming pharmaceutical company trying to get the drug to be prescribed, etc. They
Mm-hmm.
kind of, if you've seen things like what painkillers before, if I'm saying it right, Matthew Broderick or Dope Sick, very similar
Mm-hmm.
style of shows, right? And the things that pharma does, right? They grease the wheels, try to get their product out despite the dangers and manipulating the data and all that. But Chris Evans recruits Emily Blunt, who's just a single mom who's trying to make it. She's struggling, she's dancing, stripper or whatever the case is, and he sees something in her and gives her a chance, and she helps explode this product onto the market, and hence the growth of the company, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Company owned by Andy Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, little bastard. Who's the big baddie in this one, of course? I mean, the man behind the man of Big Pharma, and of course the eventual tumbling of their empire and all that stuff like that. And I guess they were prosecuted and jailed and yada yada yada. So,
Mm-hmm.
your thoughts, Chewy, on this one?
No, I actually liked it, man. I had forgot about this story, even though it was fairly recent. I remember hearing about that when the guy was prosecuted and put in jail. I think the CEO, the owner, the
Yeah, yeah.
scientist, right, the Andy Garcia character. I think the company was Anisys, I think, and but they did it was that's about the same product, a better effective fentanyl laced thing. It was meant for cancer patients, right, to deal with pain.
They were pushing it
And
for
so
everybody, of course, and
yeah, at some point,
addiction
yeah,
and yeah,
with the money and the greed, it's just like, okay, well, let's use it for everything, right?
right.
So that's where kind of led it. But yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting. I loved, I loved Captain America, man. It was very Captain America like, and as far as the portrayal of this particular individual, I think it was CFO, CEO, I don't know, whatever it was, right?
Right.
Um,
Eventually went from whatever he was early on, moving to the CEO and CFO,
yeah,
CEO. Yeah.
yes, yeah, eventually. So yeah, very interesting. Easy watch, interesting watch. So.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, the reviews are killing this film. They really were.
I mean, I didn't think it was. I mean, I don't
No,
know
it's
why they
just,
killed it, man.
I guess I can understand some of it. It's just Rotten Tomatoes is very weird. Which is, I don't really like relying upon Tomatoes. I don't think anybody should, to be honest with you, because
Mm,
they can think something's mediocre or just okay, and it's negative most of the times.
mm,
And that's what I'll say. This is it's a middle of the road film, not a bad movie. I enjoyed it. Not great. This is again your typical piece of the pie with Netflix, about the 50-60% of just okay movies that they dish out most of the time, which is watchable. You're not really paying for it, technically speaking.
mm,
You're not going to theater. But it was fun. I like Emily Blunt. She was great. I love Chris Evans in this. It's definitely
mm.
a departure from Captain America and all that.
Absolutely, man.
Which I like, and he had a lot of personality. The film it was a little too long, but for the most part, again, you've seen this kind of story before, so there's nothing new here. We know kind of how the story is going to flow, right? She rises to power, and she has a attack of conscience, guilty conscience, and then there we go, and then repercussions at the end of the show. But at the end of the movie, it was well done. It was well done. I had fun with it. It's very slick. I guess not as deep into some other things that we've seen before, as far as some of the dangers, and they kind of brush by those things, what happened to people dying and all that, with addiction. But it was enjoyable. It was enjoyable. It really was. I didn't mind it at all. I think I'm recommending it. Like, it's not a great film. Let's not get excited, but it's a watchable film on Netflix. It's about 2 hours long. Chewy, am I right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
One,
about 2 hours. Yes.
so yeah, I enjoyed it. It's a watch. Like I said, the reviews were, I thought, were a little bit too harsh on it. Honestly,
Mm.
I think most of them were saying that it was just kind of generic and stuff, and perhaps nothing new. Yeah, fair enough, but that doesn't make it bad, per se.
Well, I
You
mean,
know,
nothing new, but it's based on a true story. So what is it to
right?
make something
Exactly.
up?
Right. It is what it is, right? It's just
I
ultimately it
mean, the
is.
source
Yeah.
material happened. So what are you supposed to do? Change
Yeah.
the outcome
That's what I'm
and then go to
saying.
jail?
Agreed.
What?
Agreed. I mean, there's ways to tell a story differently, and I
Well,
get that.
okay.
I get that. I get
Yeah,
that.
you can take different perspectives,
Right,
different
right. Different
points
narrators in
of
the story, of
view.
course.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
but for what they were trying to
Absolutely.
accomplish, I think it did a good job of it. I enjoyed it.
Mm.
I don't, if it had anybody else but Chris Evans, Emily Blunt, or two lower end actors, it probably wouldn't have been the same, right? I think they
Probably.
carried
Yeah.
the majority of the film, so that's really good. So I enjoyed it. Lastly, the only show that actually, real show that came out this week, Max, 30 Coins, season 2. This one where, it's obviously takes place in Spain. It's a Spanish show. It's in Spain, and
España.
it's a show about religious demons, angels, and all that. 30 coins referring to the coins that were paid to Judas before
For
betraying,
betraying
right?
Jesus.
And I guess they each hold the power, but all together they hold an ultimate power
Hmm.
as an organization.
Well, there's like, yeah, I mean, a lot of religious relics,
Right,
right? But this
exactly.
was a key one that get kind of putting together these 30 coins or tracking them down, right? Because it was also they also had the spear. I think that it was I can't remember.
Yeah,
We've seen it. We've
there was
seen
a few
it.
things, yeah. But the coins
Yeah,
were there,
yeah.
and I think there's one priest in Spain who had one of the coins, so they're obviously going after
Mm-hmm.
him, and I say the
Mm-hmm.
strange entities going on there and all that stuff. So it's very kind of a, it's a good Halloween kind of show.
Yeah.
We both like season one. I enjoyed season one, except when it came to the end.
And, yeah, the final battle was. You know what? As I go back and think about it, you look back. If you cut that out, I think it would have been a much better. Just that one battle scene, because everything else seemed to flow, except for that
Yeah, it lost itself in the end.
devil, that demon coming out of the air, and it was like way over
Yeah,
the top, way too much.
it kind of was. It was just it happened very fast. It just wasn't set up
Mm,
very well. But
yeah,
like if that was a series finale, that would have been unforgivable. But it
yeah.
was a season finale, so I went and looked past it. So it dropped its first season here, getting back into the characters. But it's about a year later from the events of the last scene from
Plus or minus, yeah,
Plus
yeah.
or minus. I did find it funny that there's a couple investigators who are trying to chronicle what happened. They're trying to find out what it is, kind of YouTube, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so they visit the city. It's pretty much abandoned. It's a huge crater and all that, and it's all kind of
Well, it's
destroyed.
bad. It's walled off.
Right, right. I mean, it's
yeah.
abandoned.
I would
Whatever it
say,
is, no one's
yeah.
there for the most part, right? But it looks
Well,
like
yeah, yeah. But I mean, but if the military and government
sure.
come in and put a barrier, so not not anyone can just walk in willy
Right,
nilly,
exactly.
right?
They're
So
trying to do their thing, but I did see one car that was there all destroyed and set on fire. It's been a year. The fire probably would have gone out. Whatever.
I missed that one. I
I'll let
missed
that
it.
one. I'm like, wait, why is the car on fire? It's been a year. Fair enough. But yeah, so it picks up events a year later. Obviously, the coins have been dispersed elsewhere, I guess. Bringing some more, which I really liked. I liked the first episode. I did overall, and I like the fact that kind of brought in some of the more horror aspects of it. Kind of deep dive.
Oh yeah,
You're
yeah.
literally
Because
going
we
to
had some
hell.
of the yeah
you know.
we had there was the priest, right,
Mm.
where that was oh man, that was yeah, the worms
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah gives it a willy nilly. But we had one of the survivors who's still in a coma, right? We had the one, the mayor of the town, right, who's visiting every day. So he's got his own job. He's trying to put this all behind him, right? But unbeknownst to him, she's in a somewhere where in her mind she's kind of dealing with the devil, right, or Satan or whatever, right? And the priest is trying to find
It's
her.
just they're in hell is what it
Yeah,
looks like.
yeah.
I think that's what it is. Like the priest does die in
Mm-hmm.
the end of the first episode. Who's one of the main
Purgatory
characters.
or
Yeah,
whatever it is.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. So I like that. The whole sequence is great. That was really cool. Looked great with the whatever you want to call them, demons or whatever whomever they are. They're really cool designs. That was good. Like I said, it was a good starting point. It kind of made me forget what happened at the events of the first one. Kind of like okay, let's hit the reset. We got Paul Giamatti, who's probably the notable here, who's I guess maybe one of the main characters, probably one of the big
Mm.
baddies of the show. He's in there as well. I enjoyed it. It was good. Listen, it's a show that I still recommend, despite the fact that it didn't end great in the first season, because it's just the first season, so it's okay. It's not as bad as a series finale per se. But I enjoyed it. I'm recommending because again, only one season in and only one episode in. Right, this is a weekly release. So there's one you like that kind of subject matter with the devil and priest, and kind of this perception of reality, what some of these relics could do, and all that. We'll get to something like in regards to that in a little bit. But yeah, I'm recommending it. Chewy, this one you still recommend or no?
Yeah, I mean, I liked that first episode, right? It was good. It was virtually kind of bring this all back to where things are now. Kind of, I mean, still summed up the ending of season one a little bit with what happened with the coins and all the priests and
Mm-hmm.
everyone trying to get their hands on it and stuff. And then kind of, okay, let's go forward a year. And some of the characters are still around, introducing new characters, and obviously the Paul Giamatti character and where this is going to go forward. But it's still the basis of the same with right of heaven and hell against each other
Right.
and seeing how it goes.
Yeah, so that's I guess you find that interesting, especially Halloween. There's one actually the sequence in the hell is really cool. And there's one kind of a graphic kill scene involving a drone, which is found kind of funny, but in a good way. Because it's kind of ridiculous, over the top. But what I figured because it was still pretty cool. I gotta admit, it's still pretty cool. So what I didn't shy away from the graphic nature of it. So yeah, I recommend the show. So that was about it for this week, and not a lot, but some good documentaries in there and all that. Next week, not a big week next week either. So people, I guess, well, not surprising. I'm not surprised some shows are being held back because of the strike going on, and it collapsed to
Things
the
are
end of the
changing,
year. So
we are hearing some good news, right? I'm excited about what's going on with the changes to Daredevil, right?
oh, as
With
far as that directions go, yeah, of course,
yes,
of course.
I
But
mean, I think that they like where it was going. I think, and from what I was hearing, I was like, what is this? This is not Law and Order, man. Come on.
like I
And actually,
said,
they
yeah,
brought back some of these showrunners from the Netflix from Netflix
Yeah,
that ran it.
John
So I'm
Barrett.
like, okay,
Yeah.
yes.
No,
And so
they're
now I'm really
changing.
happy about that.
No, that like, and I said I was telling Eric, I knew this is no surprise, and that show
Mm.
from the beginning I said was not gonna work, and I was
And
proven
you're
right.
right.
I was proven
Yeah.
right at the end of the
Without
day.
even seeing it, you're right. But not hey, but I'm glad they listened.
No,
You know, you
but
should
yeah,
demand their checks.
the changes to. But that being said, I mean, probably a lot of shows not getting released, so I'm sure they're gonna spread out some of these shows. I would
Yeah.
assume anyway.
Mm.
But that being said, let's start again. Netflix headline this week on the first, the Mysteries of Faith. We're talking about 30 coins. It's something very
There you
similar,
go. The documentary. Yeah.
documentary about some of these relics and stuff, and the powers and
Mm-hmm.
mysteries behind these relics. So again,
The
interesting.
Ark of the Covenant.
No, I'm gonna maybe they get maybe mention one of the 30 coins in there. I don't know, but it
You
sounds
go,
interesting. It sounds interesting. You know, I like that kind of subject matter, so I'll be watching that on Netflix as well on the second. I put the 12th here by accident, but is all the light we cannot see.
Yes.
It's coming
Yes.
out. This was a series. Mark Ruffalo's the headliner here, big name. I don't think he's a major player in the show, but they're putting his name out there because I get it. This one here takes place right towards the end of World War II. A lot of Nazis, of course, all that good stuff. We have a blind girl who's broadcasting anti-Reich sentiments and providing hope to the people. And I guess there's a connection made with one of the radio, I'm not sure what they call them, radio people, army guys, whatever. A young kid, and I guess it's based off a novel, and they meet up, and I'm not sure if it's a love story. I'm not sure exactly what it is. But it looks good. The production looks pretty good. It's World War II stuff, so that always interests me, so I'm all over that. On the third, I know Chewy is incredibly excited, as am I. Because what's coming on the third, Chewy?
Invincible. Season
Invincible.
2.
That's right, on Amazon. I don't know why I have Netflix on here, but that's right. We love season
Wrong
one.
thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
love.
Season 1 was great. Probably one of the. I mean, we've seen a lot of good animation, right? Castlevania, right? This good style, but this one just for sheer content. This one is up there, right? Based on the graphic novel, but it's just so good. I mean,
It's really, yeah. And graphic is an appropriate term here.
it's
This is
graphic is an understatement.
this is
What this show does.
this makes the boys look tame in terms of the graphic nature of it, right? And
Well,
albeit it's an
some of
animated,
it. I mean,
yeah, but it's
the
well,
Muppet killing scene
well,
was
that was
pretty bad.
great. Don't get me wrong, it's fantastic. But I mean, yeah, it rivals the boys are just equal. Whatever the
Yeah.
particularly for an animated show, it's very adult. You know, so dealing with superheroes and deconstruction, the same. Very cool. I love this show. So I'm like, super. I forgot the show was coming out, so I'm super excited about that one. And on the same day, we got the last thing coming out. It's a documentary on Sly Stallone. So Sylvester Stallone, the icon, potential Hall of Fame kind of actor, I think. His resume speaks for itself. Of course, a documentary on his life and stuff that he went through and all that. So it looks interesting. So I'm a Sly guy, so I'll definitely check this one out again. It's a small week, so what the hell, right?
I'll pass.
You know, Chewie's a
I have a lot to watch right now. Yeah, I mean this.
That's why
Yeah,
Sunday is catch-up day before football starts. I got a few hours to catch up on my
I
shows.
guess, dude.
Because
I
I
guess,
put off
but
all the shows up for that you know second episodes of whatever ongoing shows and Thursday Friday releases. I wait till Sunday to watch most of them, not all of them, some of them.
okay. Well, no, I've been watching everything through the week right now. So I'm
Yeah,
loving Loki.
that's right. Because
Loving
I
season two
can't watch everything.
is
It
great.
just I'd
Yeah.
rather put it like today I can watch Gen V and all that and do one nap one.
Uh,
Okay, I already saw
yeah.
I saw upload
Yeah.
already, but it's only 30 minutes. But that being said, so it gives me more opportunities to watch the shows that get released, talk about them. Now, but that being said, again, not a big week, but you know, still some stuff in there. I'm invincible. I'm excited to get into, no doubt about it. But that being said, Chewy, as always, a pleasure. Everyone, happy Halloween. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share the video. Check us out every Sunday here. That's right, the Watchlist on the Latin Nerds Network. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.